Still alive and kicking in London Soho, Bernard has been immortalised in the play Jeffery Bernard is Unwell, now showing in Australia, with Dennis Waterman of Minder fame in the lead role. Greg Turnbull caught up with him at a rehearsal in Brisbane.
Or as the Spectator always says when I'm too ill to write my column,
Jeffery Bernard is unwell.
no, I tell a lie. They don't invariably say that. They have been known to put it another way.
Jeffery Bernard's column does not appear this week, as it is remarkably similar to that which he wrote last week.
Why do you drink so much, Mr. Bernard?
To stop myself from jogging. Well, he's never been known not to drink. He's been told not to drink several times, but he keeps ignoring the doctors, and he's lasted till 60, and he can't think of any reason why he should give up now, you know. Sally Smirnoff is his favourite girlfriend, and he's had several of the real ones as well.
Now, you know Jeffery Bernard?
I'm not a great friend, but I mean, I have, you know, obviously I met him, and we met when it was suggested that I do this, and also, you know, he's just a figure on the London scene. Everybody knows who Jeff is and where he's going to be.
Does that, in a sense, make it a difficult part to play? You've met the person, you're playing a real live person. Everybody, you say, in London knows what he's like.
Not so much, really. I mean, in as far as Keith Waterhouse, who wrote the script, is a very old and trusted friend of Jeff's, and they sort of compiled the script together from Jeff and Keith's writings, and so I play the script, really. It's just I know what he looks like, and I attempt to look like him, although if I didn't know what he looks like, I wouldn't. You know, it's not an impersonation, I'm just playing the script as such, but I do know what he's like. And apparently I look quite like him in the more ragged stages. I do have one unfulfilled ambition as regards the country, though. I remember saying to that wonderful trainer, Fred Winter, how healthy his horses look.
That's because they don't sit up all night playing cards and drinking vodka.
I remember being at the, doing a play with the Royal Shakespeare Company, and there were loads of us in this play. I was just there for one play, and, you know, what actors generally do at lunchtime is go and have a pint and have a sandwich and bore each other to death. What this big group at the Royal Shakespeare Company said was, I said, right, which pub do we go to then? We're in Covent Garden, we're surrounded by them. I went, well, what we generally do is, there's a little health food shop down the road, and we go and buy it and bring it back and talk about the play, and
yes, a lot of journalists are like that now too. But
what, health freaks?
Yes, it's very depressing. But
there is a fine line you can draw where you can have a good time and do your job.
Well, I expect so. Yeah.
Terry, how could you? How could you live in somewhere so nouveau gauche?
Who are you calling nouveau gauche?
I want to talk to Terry. I demand a right to talk to him.
You're going to have to shout.
Well, I've been doing that. Where is he? Round the back?
Australia.
Australia?
You mentioned Minder. Have you noticed that I haven't asked you anything about Minder yet?
Yes, I thought it was admirable.
It's not bad, is it? But since you've raised the subject of Minder, why aren't you in the current series? And as George Cole would say, what are you doing in Australia?
Well, I'm not in the current series because I thought I'd done enough, and I've been doing 2 other series in Britain over the last... It's a long time ago since I did any. You know, it's got to be 4 years or something like that. Another of the delights of impotence, by the way, is that I should set fire to the bed a little less often. Usually what's happened is I've got into bed... No, I'm sorry, boys, I can't... I'll have a quick look at this. I can't do it without the other things. You see, the advantage of theatre is that you rehearse, so you're very at home with the... You should be very at home with the thing by the time it gets on stage, and also you're playing a character in the correct order of his life, whereas on television you can... Or filming, you can... The first day of your filming, you may have to go to bed with a woman you've never met.
That must be awful.
Well, if you haven't met them, it's a bit worrying when there's 75 people watching you, and who, throughout the film, will become the great love of your life because of locations and those sort of things. You have to really keep on your toes to keep a strong storyline in filming. Well, what these ladies do is light a cigarette and give you 100 specious reasons for having to go home.
My husband may be calling from Paris.
My cat can't bear to be left alone.
But we've only known each other for a day.
Half a day.
Half an hour.
The babysitter will go mad if I'm late.
People don't do it in broad daylight, do they?
One more advantage, by the way. Not having to wrestle with one-liners like those anymore means not having to put up with one-liners like these anymore after they've moved in.
And where do you think you're going?
You've been drinking.
Can we go home now, please?
Your dinner's in the oven.
You make me sick.
The scene where Jeffrey Bernard's exposing his lack of success with women both before and after marriage, a bit depressing, that bit, isn't it?
Nah. No. So it's just what happens, isn't it? It's totally his fault, I suppose. The interesting thing about this play is that it could appear that it's about a male chauvinist pig, which to a certain extent Jeff is. But the thing that happens is that we women love the play because they win. You know, and they recognise so much. Also, they love it because they recognise. It was interesting. We were with a load of people last night who'd seen the preview, and the women were saying, "Oh, I thought that was lovely because I know you're just like that at times." And the men kind of get frightened. No, I'm not. No. Yes, he is. He's like that when he gets drunk, aren't you? And it never occurred to me until, I mean, we've done it for a month in Perth, and we've had one performance here, the preview, and the women lead the laughter. It's wonderful. So I think they...
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, that'll be great.
You can laugh to yourself. It depends who you're with, of course.
Revealing. And Dennis Waterman will bring his play to Sydney in March.